Hello everybody and welcome to Oxbridge X. So my name is Samira and I'm delighted to be here with you today on behalf of Oxbridge X. So a little bit about us. We specialise in preparing students for the 11 plus exam, helping them build confidence and master the skills they need to excel. So with years of experience tutoring 11 plus students, I've helped countless children succeed in their entrance exams. And I'm really excited to be here with you today to guide you through 11 plus questions today. This is a video in a couple. We filmed a couple of videos prior to this one, where you can look back and have a look at the challenging questions we have tackled and the expert strategies we have provided. And also, we will be answering your questions live, so please feel free to comment as I'm talking. So if you're preparing for the 11 plus exam, or you're simply a parent and looking for how to support your child, you've come to the right place. For today's session, we'll be focusing on non-verbal reasoning. Like I said, there have been another episodes where I have covered different topics for non-verbal reasoning and talked about different strategies. So please do go and look back, go back and look at the way that these questions have been approached. Without further ado, I'm going to share my screen for you. Amazing. Right, hopefully everyone can see my screen. So the first thing we're going to be tackling today is the odd one out. Now, this is a topic that comes in non-verbal reasoning, and the simple way to go about this is you do need to know the acronym that I have shared in videos before is the Never Say Stop to a Cute Panda. Now, that stands for the elements that you should be looking out for when you're analysing the shapes and trying to figure out the odd one out. The thing that you want to look out for between all the different shapes is the number, so never, the shape. So when I say number, I mean, for example, is there a number of circles, a number of semicircles, a number of squares that is consistent with some of the shapes, and is there perhaps one that doesn't share that similarity? So never say, which stands for shape. So what type of shape is it? Is it mostly quadrilaterals, and maybe do I have a triangle that's obviously the odd one out? And then I also have the size. Is there one that's slightly bigger than the other? 2, total. What is the total? Now, what I mean by that is there could be a total number of, there could be circles on the shape that add up to a total of however much, and that could be consistent with all these shapes, and perhaps one has only 5 circles, so maybe the total isn't consistent, and it also could be the total of shapes, etc. Never say stop to A. A stands for angle. Now, this one is less frequent, but it's still something to look out for. Yeah. Cute. Never say stop to a cute panda. So this one stands for the color. What is the color that is consistent? Is it black and grey throughout all the shapes? And is there perhaps one that isn't black and grey? That's something that we need to look out for. Pattern for panda. Now that one is looking at, is there a certain pattern within some of the shapes that one doesn't follow? Yeah. Now, that's the acronym that you need to think about, consider when you're looking at those shapes. And the one that comes adjacent to that one is also MOP. So that's movement, orientation, position, and symmetry. This one's very key as well, because the way the shapes are orientated, positioned, is probably also something to look out for. Do all the shapes have a line of symmetry that's horizontal, and perhaps one is diagonal? And obviously, the diagonal one is the odd one out, right? So these are sort of the elements that you need to consider. Now, if the students that I've come across that have had these elements in mind, I've gone and looked at the shapes and gone, right, let me think about all these elements. How much, if I've gone through each shape and said, okay, this one has, for example, I'm pointing at the first section, it has 2 shapes, black and grey. Does it have a lot of symmetry? No, it's orientation. Well, I've got an arrow pointing at the grey thing. So the person that's gone through each of these elements is able to find the answer with clarity. Yeah? So it's really important that before you sort of give up, you've talked yourself into each of these elements to find the answer. So without further ado, let's have a look at the first line. So the first shape has 2 sort of, so I want to say it's not a square, it's sort of like a parallelogram or trapezium. It's got two shapes and it's got a triangle at the top, a mini triangle at the top, and a mini triangle. It's got a black semicircle and a grey semicircle, and the black semicircle has an arrow pointing at the grey semicircle. Okay. The second shape, same thing. Got two shapes, two triangles. Black semicircle has an arrow pointing to the grey semicircle. Okay, fine. C, same thing. We've got three triangles in the sort of inner corners. And then I've got a black semicircle shape. I'm starting to figure out the pattern that the black semicircle has an arrow pointing at the grey semicircle. Hang on, we've got D. We've got two shapes, two triangles now. We have we have an arrow, but this time the arrow is pointing at the black shape. Bit peculiar because that's not consistent with the other ones. Let's have a look at E. E, I've got a black semicircle, an arrow pointing at the grey semicircle. So, that's it. What I think I've come across is consistently the black semicircle has an arrow pointing towards the grey semicircle. However, this approach does not follow D, right? And therefore that has to be the odd one out. Hopefully that makes sense, guys. Let's have a look at the next one. I'm actually going to skip the second row and go to the third row because it's a bit more challenging. Right. So, in all the shapes, I'm going to count the sides. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. Let's count the next one. Maybe perhaps there's something consistent in the sides of the shapes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I don't think there's anything consistent with the number of sides. I'm actually going to put a pause on that. Think about anything else. I'm going to think about reflection. I'm going to think about symmetry. If I have a look at this shape, right, I'm just going to analyze the shape, right, and let me just get a drawing. If I look at the shape, this corner, the two shapes cut out from the last shape seem to be reflection from each other. That's what I know about this one. Does that follow the same pattern here? Yeah, it does. What I'm seeing is that there's two shapes that are cut out and those are reflecting from one another. This is where the symmetry comes in, right? And that's where MOPS comes in very handy to us. Let's see if that follows in D as well, and C as well. Yep. D. Yep. E. Not quite. So that's not a reflection of this. So the odd one out has to be. Can you see, guys? What I did was I really carefully took the time. I started off by looking at the number of sides, thinking that was the thing that's going to odd one out. But obviously that didn't really go my way, did it? No. So I started thinking about other things, and really take the time to analyze the shape and went, okay, hang on. These seem to be cut out, and their reflection. So this is where MOPS came in really handy. Hopefully that makes sense. Let's have a look at some more shows. I'm going to have the next one, but I really want you guys to have a chance to have a go at this yourself. So I'm going to take a pause and let you guys try and figure out what the answer to this one is. What is the odd one out? I'm going to look at the comments to see if anybody's commenting anything. So what is the odd one out for this one? Well done. Someone said E is the odd one out for the previous one. Absolutely. What do you think the odd one out for this one is? Right, I'm actually going to spoil it for you guys. So having a look at the shape, I figured out that the first shape has 1 in the rows, 2, and then 3. Okay. This one has 1, 2, 3, and 4. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4. This one has 1, 2, 3. This one has 1, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And therefore, the odd one out has to be this one because it's not following a consistent pattern. And what came in really handy for this one is part of the acronym total for this one. So never say stop to a cute panda. We're looking at 2 total. The next one. So I've got a sort of bow-like shape going on. And on the left-hand side, I've got a square. And on the right-hand side, I've got a triangle. Okay. For B, same thing. I've got a bow. Left-hand side, I've got a circle. Right-hand side, I've got the triangle. Okay. So for A and B, there's a triangle on the right-hand side. C, I've got a same bow-like shape, but I've got a triangle on the left hand this time, and then I've got a square on the right hand this time. Interesting. The next one I have is triangle on the left hand. Sorry, so for E, I've got a square on the left hand and a triangle on the right hand. Now, what I can see is the triangle consistently happens to be on the right hand, aside from C, where the triangle appears on the left hand, adjacent to the other shapes, so the triangle appears on the right hand, and therefore that must be my odd one out. Amazing. Right, let's have a look at the last question, guys. Hopefully I'll give you guys a couple of seconds to try and analyze the shapes yourself and try to figure out which one's the odd one out. I'm gonna have a look at the comment section. Please do, guys, keep writing in your comments. Right, I am going to intervene now. So for this one, what I've noticed is that the dots, the first thing I actually did was count the number of dots in each shape. So for this one was 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, this one was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one, 2, 3, 4, 5. This was 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There was nothing to determine that the total number of circles in each shape is the clue for this question. So the next thing I actually did was have a look at the number of curves around the shape, because I'm really analysing the different parts of the shapes, and that comes in sides, right? Sides. So never say stop to a cute panda. We talked about sides. So this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What I'm starting to notice, guys, is that the number of curves is 1 more than the number of circles. Let's see if this follows the same pattern here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not quite. Maybe that's all I'll do now. But let's just double check though. Never be too sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Amazing. So, like I said, so the odd one out for this one is D, and the reason being is because it doesn't follow the same pattern in that the number of curved sides is 1 more than the number of dots. Now, I know this has probably come very natural to me because I've had lots and lots of practice. And the more practice you do with these types of questions, the more easier it gets, because what you'll actually find, guys, is that the patterns and the answers, so when I say patterns and answers, I mean the reason being, the justification for the odd one out for the answer is sometimes one that you can often spot within questions. So just keep practicing these questions. It will come naturally to you, I promise. Amazing. Right, let's move on. Find the figure like the first three. I'm actually going to go straight on to these ones, right? Because I want a bit of a challenge. But hopefully these questions will be up on the YouTube. So I'm going to pause here. And if you want to take a screenshot, please do it so you can practice it at home. And yes, let's go through the more challenging ones then. So number 8. Find the figure like the first three. Again, I'm using never say stop to acute panda. And again, I'm using MOPS, movement, orientation, positioning, and symmetry. So for this one, I'm having a look at what's similar between them, right? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 lines. Okay. I have one, and the sides of the shape, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Fine. Okay. Next shape, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 sides, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines. So what I'm starting to figure out is that the number of lines is consistent with the number of sides of the shape. So again, 1, 2, 3, and then I've got 1, 2, 3. Amazing. That doesn't really tell me why I've got the 2 crosses though, does it? So let's try to figure out why I've got the 2 crosses. Well, the 2 crosses appears in the first and the third shape. However, it does not appear in the second shape. What's different about the second shape? Well, the first and the third shape have curved sides to them. Does the second shape have curved sides? No. Therefore, the crosses probably represents the number of curved sides. Amazing. Let's have a look at then what the answer is for this one. So for A, I've got 1, 2 crosses, but 1 curved side. That's not the answer because, like we said, the crosses represent the number of curved sides. One, two, three, 1, 2, 3. Okay, that it could be B. Then I've got 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not quite B. C. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So the lines is accurate with the number of sides. However, it's got 2 crosses, but there's no curved side, so it can't be B. C. I'm actually not even going to bother with D because it cannot be D because oh, hang on, could it? Let's not completely rule it out. Let's have a look quickly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Amazing. Okay, and then do I have 3? Curved sides? No, it doesn't. It can't be curved. So that's why I wasn't going to bother with it because it doesn't have curved sides. However, it has to be E because we've eliminated all the options. All right, let's have a look at number 9 then. So number 9 is a bit difficult. This one, right? We've got 3 shapes. We've got large arrows. How many sides does it have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It has 10 sides. 10-sided shape. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 as well for the second shape, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 for the third shape. Amazing. So my shape has to have 10 sides. So let me rule out anything that doesn't have 10 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. A is fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nope. Bye B. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bye C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. Way too much. And then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I'm left with A and E. Now, what else do I have? In this shape, I've got a 1, 2, sort of kite. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4-sided shape inside this one. This one I've also got a four-sided shape, and this one I've also got a four-sided shape. So what I know that's consistent between them is that it's got a quadrilateral inside the shape. Now, if I've eliminated all the other one, left with A and E, just looking at E, I've got a pentagon. It's not a quadrilateral, so I can rule that E. And therefore, A fits the criteria in that it is the only shape with 10 sides, and it has a quadrilateral or a four-sided shape inside it. Right, I'm going to let you guys have a look at number 10. Number 10 is sorry, I don't want to make things more extreme than it is, but it is difficult. Yeah, I have seen students stumble across this question, but have a look at it and let me know what you guys think. We're going to have a look at the comment section. Amazing. Nice to see that people are being reactive. I got A, amazing. Brilliant. So guys, have a go at the last one. What does number 10? Anybody that can get it right gets a little shout out. So let's have a look. Who's going to beat anyone to the race? The answer is B. Monica, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, my love. But absolutely, you're absolutely right, Monica. The answer is B. Excellent. Monica, do you want, first of all, shout out to you for getting the answer right. Do you want to give us a little explanation as to why the answer is B? That might be probably a well-winded answer to type, but to support Monica's answer, the reason the answer is E for this one is because it's the only shape that I'm able to arrange and make into a square, okay? And it has at least one grey and one white shape. So with all the other shapes, I'm able to arrange it and make it into a square, okay? And there has to be at least one grey and one white square, and that's why the answer is E. Amazing. Thank you very much, Monica. Right, vertical codes. Now, let's skip to the third part. So, for these questions, you need to really think about a couple of things. You need to think about analyzing the shapes. And with that, again, most of the things that I've done today has looked at the outcome and never assist up to a Q panda. So again, you're having a look at that one. So let's skip right to the last two, 7 and 8. Right. Now, what do I notice? What I'm going to do is oh, goodness me, what have I done? I've completely deleted the side. Well done, Samara. Oh, there we go. Magic. Right. So what I'm going to do for this question is I'm going to have a look at each of the shape and find out what's similar, what's different. Right. So for the first shape, I have 2 black circles. Is there any other shape where I have 2 black circles? Yes, there is. In BU. So DU and BU have 2 black circles. And therefore, what I'm going to suggest, what's similar, is they both have U in it, right? And therefore, U must stand for 2 black shapes because I don't see U pop up anywhere. U? No. So I know that my shape, because it doesn't have 2 black circles, it cannot contain U. So bye-bye B, bye-bye D, and bye-bye A. Amazing. So process of elimination is going to make my life 10 times easier. Now, I have a sort of crossed. Can you see how like they're all, the position of the cross is different within each one, right? There's different rotations of the circles, right? Now, our rotation of the circle is the same as the rotation of BU, right? B only pops up in this one, right? It doesn't pop up many other ones. So that being said, I am going to determine that B stands for the rotation of the cross, which is completely bang on horizontal. And therefore my answer does have to have a B in it. Bye-bye DB. Okay. And lastly, I know that the answer is BB, but I'm going to say one more thing. We have one black circle, right? What other shape has one black circle? CV. And therefore, we know that one black circle, it represents B. Amazing. Can you see how process of elimination of looking at the similarity between each shapes and the letters is going to make our lives 10 times easier? Right, amazing. Let's look at the last one. So for 8, I've got triangle, circle, square. Okay. A. Let's have a look at what we think A represents. I have a grey square in A. Do I have a grey square anywhere else? I have it in AR. Okay. And I have it in AS. And therefore, I know that A has to represent the grey circle because I don't have an A here, and therefore I know I don't have a grey circle here. So my shape does not have a grey circle, so therefore I cannot have an A in it. So bye-bye AR, bye-bye AP. Amazing. The next one here, I have a white square in mine. I also have a white square here, right? Is there anywhere else where there is a white square? No. But it has a B. Is there anywhere else where it has a B? No. And therefore, I know that my answer has to have B. That's not really helpful to me, though, because all the other options have a B in it, isn't it? Okay, fine. Let's look at the next thing. So, I have a V here. Okay. Do I have a V here as well? Yep, I have a V here. Okay, so here the V is on the right-hand side. Here the V is on the left-hand side. What is similar between this one? So with R, the two V's are sort of bang on the top, bang in the middle. Is there anywhere else where it's bang on the middle? No. So I'm going to assume that R represents where the two V's are bang on the middle. So I'm going to cross out BR. Fine. My one, I've got S. Let's have a look. S is where the V is on the left-hand side. Okay, does that follow my one as well? Yes, it does. Okay, so S must represent that the V shape is on the left. Amazing. Okay, so my answer has to be BS, but let's just rule out BP. P, the V is on the right, so it should be there. Yeah, therefore my answer has to be BS. Amazing. That one was definitely tricky. It took me a bit of a while as well, but again, it's just looking about the different orientations, isn't it? Amazing. And that brings us to the end. Miss, what is a vertical code? That's a very good question. So a vertical code is basically this. That's what we just did now. So it's when you're given a code, right? You're given shapes, and you're given a code that's vertical. So the reason it's vertical is because it comes in one straight line. And you have to figure out what the code of the shape is. Yeah. That's the way that I would put it. Hopefully you would have seen this before in nonverbal reasoning. They have different types of names for it. But yeah, so it's just a code breaking question using shapes and symbols. And the reason why it says vertical because it's arranged in the column that's vertical. And your task, and we just like we did, is to identify the pattern or the rule that relates each symbol to its code. And the reason they give these questions, Monica, thank you, Monica, by the way, that's a very good question. The reason that they give these questions Monica, is because it tests your ability to recognize patterns and relationships without actually relying on explicit like English language, right? But hopefully that answers your question, Monica. Thank you for that. I'm so very glad to see that everyone's being so responsive in the comment section. And I'm going to take you to the QR code now. Oh, not Spotify. That's not what I want. Right. The QR code. Sorry, guys, I'm not the best tech savvy in the world. Right, amazing, cool. Right. Well, that brings us to the end of our session today, and hopefully you guys find it very useful to talk about some of the different topics for non-verbal reasoning and the acronym Nemesis, Octocute Panda, and MOPS that you do need to learn. Like I said, the questions that we did today is really just about observing the shapes and coming at the question with analytical ability and figuring out, okay, what's similar, what's different, and really taking your time. Yeah. So if you found these strategies helpful and you'd like to take your preparation further, please, I encourage you to scan this QR code or likewise go onto the website and basically have a go at doing an assessment, free assessment. And I promise you, I have an assessment, I make my students do the assessment, and it takes 10-15 minutes. Once you've done the assessment, it will offer you an opportunity for a one-to-one tutoring session, that of which after your parents will receive, as well as student, a detailed summary of how the lesson went, and then you also get a quiz on the topic that you covered in the session, and a personalized learning plan to target your key areas for improvement. And this is all leveraged by sophisticated hires, so that I have to emphasize the accuracy and how much it is really tailored to your ability and your experience of the session. And that's why it's differentiates between other tuition companies. Because what's really paramount when you're doing the 11 plus is that each session you are getting tailored feedback to work out how to get from this step, from this stage to the next stage. And obviously you want to improve as as each session continues. So again, please, I encourage you to take the free assessment, go onto the URL website, or likewise scan the QR code. And the URL is also, I believe, in the description of the live stream. If you found this session really helpful, if you have any other tricky questions, please feel free to go to the contact form on our website, oxbridgex.com, and put in your tricky questions on there, and then have a chance for it to be featured in the next session, which should be very exciting. I really hope you guys liked this video, and if you did, please subscribe to the channel and give us a like and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next session at 6 p.m. on Wednesday. Thank you very much for joining, guys. Absolute pleasure, and I'll see you next time. Bye.